So on Sunday of last week, a massive tornado tore through Oklahoma, killing 24 people and injuring nearly 400. It caused an estimated $2 billion in damage. Now, on Monday, during a call to the Oklahoma Governor Mary Fallin, the administration has said that they stood ready to assist her state with whatever may be needed. Echoing that sentiment Tuesday, in the White House, the president also said that Oklahoma needs to get everything it needs right away. Well, that's great, of course, right? Now, part of that could have been increased government funding for FEMA, for that disaster aid, right? And now that's something that two lawmakers from Oklahoma say they would have voted against, of course. Senators Tom Coburn and James Inhofe, the two senators that famously voted against and tried to hold up a $60 billion aid package for victims of Hurricane Sandy, they had pretty much said it contained wasteful spending and that sending that money to FEMA would have been unconscionable. In an interview on MSNBC, Senator Inhofe pretty much insisted that if Oklahoma would have needed another funding bill, it would be a, quote, totally different situation, because it wouldn't contain port projects that send money elsewhere. Now, hold on. Now let's kind of stop here. So pretty much Inhofe is taking shots at Sandy relief that help people in the Northeast coast. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like he's saying that those East Coast liberals always load up all their bills with, all sorts of pork. And that they do that in Oklahoma because they're so incredibly conservative, right? Now, I, for one, think that that's pretty hypocritical. Since Oklahoma ranks #1 in tornado disasters and #3 in flooding, according to FEMA. Also interesting is that of the 25 U.S. counties that have been declared disasters the most time since 1953, 9 are in Oklahoma, the highest total of any state. Now, of course, FEMA doesn't look at how much money is spent on these disasters, and rightly so. Because in my opinion, the focus should be on helping people. However, Senators Inhofe and Coburn repeatedly asked for the government to offset disaster spending by cutting other programs. Probably, things like food stamps, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, the usual conservative targets, right? Now, in fact, even back in 2012, during the fiscal cliff negotiations, Coburn told George Stephanopoulos that Medicare and Social Security are, quote, are things we don't absolutely need. However, an article in Tulsa World points out that 1 in 5 people in Oklahoma were receiving Social Security benefits in 2010. And that nearly 500,000 Oklahomans received Medicare, and nearly 800,000 received Medicaid in 2009. Oklahoma also gets back $1.35 for every dollar it sends to the federal government. And that, of course, is absolute hypocrisy for Mr. Coburn. So getting back to disaster relief, both Inhofe and Coburn dodged a political bullet because it turns out that FEMA still has about $11.8 billion in funding disaster relief. Now, that's great. It's great for the citizens, but it's also fortunate for the two supposed fiscal hawks, because they can sit there and say that they would oppose aid without offsets, without actually having to vote for it.